What's up, family? Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you had a great week, and I hope that you are dealing well with your mental health, because man, the tricks that our mind is playing on us right now is oh so real. So make sure you stay in touch with yourself and make sure you're giving love to other people. Our topic today is going to be Detroit hip hop. And on the grill, we got Dilla. We're going to talk about him. And you know that I love setting up every episode with a quote that lays the groundwork for an interesting and provocative conversation. So here is the quote. We hope for better things. It shall arise from the ashes. And that comes from Father Gabriel Roberts. And I think that that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, and connect with our special guest today, DJ Butter. What's up, DJ Butter?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Oh, man, we doing good, man, out here.
That's what's up.
Considering, you know, it's just been tough everywhere in terms of just no place to hide, you know?
Right.
Normally we get an opportunity to lick our wounds and then get back in the game, but now you got to lick your wounds, fight the fight, and stand there in the middle of it all. So it's a whole new ball game for us. And
you're so right.
You know, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I know you're ready for the game, because you continue to move forward and continue to create and respect the legacy that is laid before you. And I was really excited when I sent you that DM and was like, dude, I want to get down with you. And you was like, hell. So,
yeah, that's what's up.
Here we go. It wasn't no managers. It wasn't no three people that I had to talk to. You just a genuine dude, man, and I like genuine people.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
It's definitely not about the notoriety over here. It's about people that's really trying to do great things and staying focused within it. So
right.
That's what we about over here. So what you been up to, man? What you been up to?
Well, actually, I'm in Detroit right now. I've been back and forth from here to the West Coast. Just coming back here in Detroit to complete some projects and, you know, kind of motivate my friends before the winter time happens and people move slower. So I've been working on some new music and some documentary stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, just getting people involved with, you know, what I'm doing and what I see from being on the West Coast back and forth. I'm just trying to bring my people out there as well, you know.
Right.
So just building for next year, you know.
Yeah, getting ready for 2022, because I'm telling you, the way time is flying right now, it just seemed like, wow, you know, we're already, you know, it's just like summer was over so quickly, and now we're the last quarter of the year, and it's just like, this is go time. Like if you were sitting around, you got to try to get it in this last quarter of the year.
You're so right.
The first thing I wanted to ask you is, how did you get involved in hip hop?
Well, coming up, I mean, you know, just being in my grandma's living room and her let me listen to my own station. Mm-hmm. You know, she had a church radio stuff going on all day. She either would have that going on or the Tigers game.
Right.
So the complete day would be her just listening to the radio, and then it got to a point where she'll let me listen to the radio.
Okay.
So once I started listening to the radio, FM 98, and you start hearing Curtis Blow on the radio, and Christmas rapping, and the breaks. You know, that was kind of my first wind of it. You know, just her letting me have my moment with her radio. And then once I got that moment and heard, you know, what I was inspired by, it just clicked in, like, you know, because all my friends was kind of hip, you know, but to hear it through a rap form, you know, coming up on Puritan Avenue, my friends was, you know, always into fashion and things like that, but to hear it in a rap form through the radio, it just all clicked. And then once once I seen Jam Master Jay and Run DMC and that Rockbox video, it all kind of made sense from then.
Right. And so you had gotten your first turntable around 14 years old that your dad had gave to you, right?
Right. Yes.
How did that inspire you to, get into hip hop? Because such a young age, I mean, your dad definitely seen something in you that let him know that he had to give you something to continue to move forward in your creativity. So tell me what that first turntable was. I think it was a Techniques or something, but I'm not sure.
It was a belt drive turntable. My grandma, her stereo system had a turntable on it, so I try to sneak, and once I heard Jam Master Jay and all the AJ Fresh and Curtis Blow, I tried to sneak and scratch on her turntable.
Right.
So my father, he eventually started to let me mess with his equipment. Mm-hmm. So he was already into music, being a drum major in Mumford High School.
Okay.
I guess his bloodline kind of streamed through me, and just the art of seeing him have a reel-to-reels and tambourines and turntables. It was like it was our escapism. It seemed like just me being around him, and his break from work was listening to his music. And it kind of got embedded in me. And my brothers, they do certain things, that other traits that he has that's not music related. So I kind of took the music side, and just ran with it and kind of spread that whole energy of what I was able to be accessible to my friends who wasn't.
Right.
Just coming up in Highland Park High School, Highland Park area, all my friends that was in high school, they middle school, they all kind of took a page from my father, not having fathers.
Yeah.
So I was able to share my father, and whatever he gave me, I was able to share it. That was dear to me, because I was losing a lot of friends real young.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the Highland Park area of Detroit in terms of where it's at in the city and kind of what it is like out there.
Well, Highland Park is the home of the Model T cars, where they built the first cars here in Michigan. Okay. And it's in the middle of east and west. We're right in the middle of Detroit.
Oh. Okay.
So it's the home of Donald Goines, where Donald Goines got a lot of his dialogue for his books and his lifestyle and things like that.
Right.
It's coming up. It was Chrysler was around here, so it was the car factory and things like that. So once the car factory closed, it left everybody jobless, left the neighborhood a little more abandoned. People started burning their homes down for insurance and things like that. So Highland Park was coming up. It was like a Brady Bunch situation, but it changed so drastically after the car factory was ripped out. It kind of took the pride away from our parents.
Yeah, and their inability to be able to provide for their family.
Right.
And
right.
It just seems like Detroit in general has been, struggling to get back to some sort of prominence as it refers to balance in employment and some sort of fairness,
right.
Amongst being inclusive with different races and things like that. So I just was interested to see or to hear how it was then versus how it is now. And we're the same thing, really.
Yeah, it's like a tornado ripped through Highland Park and tore the rest of it up, and it's people just really it's a lot of hopeful people over here. And it's still like a neighborhood. But me coming up and seeing a house on every block, houses on every block. Some of these blocks don't even have but 2 houses on them,
wow.
3 houses on them. So, it's something,
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing that I want to talk to you, you did a mixtape in 2015 called Kill the DJ. And I just love it. I mean, it just has touched every cool hip hop dude that was out at that time, artists or whatever, not necessarily out at that time, but it was a great collection of different artists. Tell me how you put that project together as far as the artists you chose, and why did you name it Kill the DJ?
That Kill the DJ came out in early 2000s, and it was really a stab at the DJs on the radio.
Okay.
Let's say, here's my talented friends. Y'all don't see them, get to know them from my hand.
Right.
Because you're not really instilling hope in my friends when we can't wake up and listen to Detroit music.
Right.
Motown is, we can go to California and listen to Motown music and you realize how beautiful your city is and things like that, but we can't really wake up to that. It's not like, we have Hitsville, but it's not like a dramatic school for, arts and dance, or the Temptations, business class, or foundation, or things like that. So, it's not a lot of that. So our generation of rap folks, like whether it was Eminem or Royce the 5'9", I seen that talent kind of early, just going to the hip hop spots and just really just not being a selfish DJ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And back then it was just important to me to say, okay, well, I got a lot of gym shoes I won't buy no more today. Let me go ahead and spend $200 on my friend.
Yeah.
Take him in the studio, empower him, and then let's start a domino effect of that, and just the art of me wanting to be a DJ. It was like coming up, my father was like, why you don't want to be why you want to be Jam Master Jay? Why you don't want to be Ron? Jam Master Jay is in the back. So it was the art of proving myself and showing that I can produce like an A&R. Jam Master Jay is hip. He was the guy who brought people together, and that was my whole approach to everything, even the way I document things and take pictures of my friends and things like that, just to kind of be one up on how my father looked at Ron compared to Jam Master Jay.
Right.
Eventually Jam Master Jay passed away, because it seemed like he had the whole culture in his hand. It seemed like, just the art of you being around so many moguls and not really being empowered yourself, man. Yeah. The way the world changed from 99 to 2000 with digital and physical copies kind of put a lot of people out of business. So
yeah,
that was my thing, to kind of document things. If I'm dead and gone tomorrow, somebody can able to dig up my stuff and monetize it and put it up on, whether it's a picture or video or some music, because that was always important to me. I lost my first rap buddy at 15 years old, to trying to sell drugs out here, get killed.
Right.
So, it was like I was running out of time, after that. So I try to empower people and tell my friends how great they are, if they're rich or not, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's why I was so excited to be able to talk to somebody like you, because this business is so selfish a lot of time. Yeah. And in our pursuits of trying to be our best or trying to achieve status within this business, a lot of us get lost in that and not realize that the true journey is who we're able to help and assist along the way. Right. That's what ultimately allows you to leave a legacy, because you need somebody to be talking about you.
Right. Right.
That's what keeps us alive. It's our stories that other people share and our ability to showcase the type of work that we've done while we were here.
Right.
And I think that you do that kind of work in everything that you do. It's always so inclusive and always so thought-provoking as far as taking yourself out of the equation.
Yes.
Butter. And it just seems like you're not concerned about, oh, am I going to shine in this? Or, oh, am I going to be the man in this? You're more concerned about the legacy and the importance of the music and the messages within it. And that's what makes you so different, in my opinion, because you've mastered to be able to push yourself further, because we do things for ourselves. I'm not going to say that we don't, but at the same time, there's a way in which to convey your message, and
Right.
it's totally through the guise of other people. It's totally through giving someone else a shot or a way of looking things that they may have not seen. And that's what I most see through all your work that I've studied and looked at, and just looked at some of the things that interest you in the city of Detroit. I also wanted to ask you, what do you think, in your opinion, DJ Butter, what is the importance of the DJ in today's hip hop music?
I think the DJ is if you're not really so competitive. I think we are the nucleus of bringing people together. You know how rappers can be. They so competitive. It's hard for them to collaborate. It's hard for them to really, say, I got peanut butter, you got jelly. And that's where I come in at. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I don't, that's my thing. I never really want to see, I don't want to grow old and see a lot of my talented buddies not using their talent. And, it's just, and I think I can see a little further than them being so competitive, and trying to figure out their niche in the game, things like that. I just don't want to, how Motown gave us the example that we started here, but it moved, and the energy, the hope, the black spirit, the entrepreneurism. Berry Gordy kind of gave us all that, and that's my thing as a DJ. Like, okay, I can put my Berry Gordy hat on. You never really see Berry Gordy trying to teach Stevie Wonder how to sing, or he just wanted to be the middleman and say, okay, y'all come here, y'all getting paid this much an hour, this is what we doing.
Right.
It eventually cracked, but just to instill hope in the hopeless is my job,
Yeah.
Because it's we defeated what our parents saying. Berry Gordy left 20 years ago. That stuff ain't gonna work, and we conquer with go get this job. So my thing is to make the best out of nothing all the time. It's just, I don't want to see a lot of my friends working at grocery stores in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, because white America took it and just put it in their pocket and say, yo, we able to monetize it. We done took the pride out of y'all because y'all didn't make no money for this type of thing. And it's at a rapid rate here, Yeah,
it is. The lights are just going out by the second in terms of that. And a lot of times us in our Black culture, we are talked out of our talents and gifts. To go work for the grocery store or go get a regular job, and not realizing that all we're doing is working on somebody else's dreams,
right,
and not our own. And later on in life, we figured that out, and it just really, really breaks our heart that we didn't see this movie.
Right.
You just like the sacrifice that you take to go to work, you have to take that sacrifice to instill your talents and continue to move forward with them.
Right.
It can't be no other way. It's just like, me doing this podcast. This is my passion. this is what I want to do. I love to talk to people like you. I love to talk about the human condition and how we can exchange information to help each other. And that's kind of what this platform is to me, to be able to have people like you to come and lend your opinion and show others how you're doing and working towards that sort of support for the culture. Because if we don't do it, DJ Butter, who else is?
You're so right.
Nobody. So I just feel like it's necessary, all hands on deck, to figure out a way for us to communicate better, for us to understand where our pain comes from initially, so that we can handle it better. It's not between me and you, DJ Butter. It's between me and my circumstances and my experiences that I have to come to terms with and realize that those are really things that put gas in my engine so that I can go. That's what it's supposed to be used for, our circumstances. Not to have us go, well, I had a bad circumstances, so I'm out the game. You got to be empowered by those circumstances.
Totally.
You got through them.
Totally. I mean, I was actually DJing a party, and my wife was in the hospital losing my daughters, twin daughters, you know, and the fight of that, then you have to go back to the party and get your equipment out the party.
Yeah.
I was in the studio watching my mother dead on TV, you know, getting pulled out of rehabilitation home in a body bag. And I had to go document that because of foul play and all that stuff, and get back into the music mode just so I don't break down.
Yeah.
You know, just like, and it's something and the things I've been cherishing and collecting, that mentally they want me to lose. They you know, it's just like I done made a lot of people rich, you know what I'm saying? And so much you gotta go through just to get a crumb of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just protect what you got. If you know how to balance $100 and you can balance 1,000, you can balance 10,000, you know, and that's what I'm really, really learning, because they get us on our vices. They give us, you know, drugs before they give us empowerment. They especially in this music business, you know, they give us the casting couch before they give us a real contract.
Yeah.
You know?
And try to use the drug, whatever that is, food, liquor, pills, marijuana, or whatever, and utilize that to pay us instead of the money.
Right.
And, you know, we got to be just aware of all of that and how powerful we are, not only in the music industry, but just in general. We are the talent, we are the swag, and we are the voice. And as soon as we recognize that, then the better off we'll be.
Totally.
You know, I also wanted to ask you how you met and worked with D12, and what was that experience like?
Well, I met Proof in 91, 92. One of my friends from Highland Park would start working with him. He got a whiff of my friend passing away. So Proof kind of grabbed to me and said, "Man, your rap buddy died at 15." And I said, "Man, I want to be here for you. Let's work." So once Proof started, you know, making his rounds and to the hip hop community, that was kind of there every step of the way. Mm-hmm. And then when he got with Eminem and D12, I was already kind of seeing Eminem in the streets trying to sell his music.
Right.
You know, he would pull up at the record stores and he have all his clothes in the car, like somebody kicked him out of his house, you know. And here we are, we going into the record store, learning about consignments, you know, shelf space, and putting your CDs and tapes on the shelf, and the correct spots to do it, and learning etiquette to talk to the, you know, managers of the store. And I used to run into them a lot like that. And you know, once they got into the industry, things started changing. You know, it seemed like the content started changing. You know, it was the control factor of each other started changing. And, you know, that's one thing I didn't like. And when I told 50 Cent, I said, yo, we're Proof friends. You know, this is what we wanted for Proof. It's,
right.
You know, it's like, but I think in those times, you know, it's just like we had each other sold too much to where we didn't really empower each other properly. You know, it was like it was a lot of soul games with that whole. That's why a lot of those guys, you know, kind of passed away. People got discouraged, and you know, one of my friends that were there witnessing Proof get killed, he'd be pulling up in a minute, and just to see what they're going through it's a lot, you know. And I try to be some aid, because I done grew up, you know, watching my mother break down mental institutions, things like that, and you know, and I'm been shot at, pistol whipped, all that stuff, you know. So I'm able to be here to talk about it, and I'm, you know, and be creative, and I'm, you know, just to see what these guys are going through, and there's no reimbursement.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, the record labels promising my friends money, you know, for mental evaluation, and Shady Records don't come through for them. A lot of little stuff, you know, and it's just, and it's all like one big. It's like we've been stepped on, you know, to get. You know, Eminem made a song called Stepping Stones, and you know, I talked to him about 3 years ago after not seeing him for so long.
Right.
But to hear that song, it was like, this is what I've been feeling for so long. Like,
yeah.
You know, don't come around me blowing your cigar in my face. I can't laugh at every joke.
Yeah. I
don't know what kind of rituals coming out that cigar.
Right.
Keep that over there, and you know. And I recognized that early. That's why I was able to do so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's these movies are made off my friend's back, and the confidence and all that is made off my friend's back. And I gotta see them like, you know, everything is okay, because they done signed some clause that say they can't talk to their dead and things like that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and you know, maybe I'm talking too much, but
I mean, that's what we're here for, dude. I can talk about it, because
you know, I'm not with that. You know, it's been a race. I don't feel like I have to pop a pill to sell no music.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And all the stuff we going through, I don't need to be lubricated. I need to
not at
see
all
what's going on. And that's the thing. I think for so long in our culture, you know, because even me growing up, you know, I seen drinking when we were happy, drinking when we were sad, you know, and when you become an adult, all you know is from with your childhood, and a lot of times, and you still use those things until you learn better. And I think that that's one tool that we utilize in the wrong way.
Right.
And don't know the difference between a celebration, as it refers to the same party favors being there.
Right.
Those same party favors are there at a funeral, and they're there at the birthday party. So then you're confused about what those tools are for. You think that you're supposed to do that when you're happy and sad, and you realize that when you do use any sort of drug or use anything to replace feeling your real emotions, you're actually becoming an addict or putting forth an effort to replace something with that. And it's never a good look when you're doing that.
Right.
It just doesn't work out that way.
Right.
But I think that sets us up nicely to go to the grill. Let's take it to the grill, y'all. Let's burn some stuff up, man. Me and DJ Butter. So on the grill today, we're talking J Dilla. I know you know J Dilla. He's was so synonymous and well known in Detroit for all of his work. So I wanted to put that on the grill today because of us talking about Detroit hip hop. I don't think that we can talk about it without mentioning his name. No. So I wanted to find out with you, because especially this year, 2021, marks the 20th anniversary of his Welcome to Detroit record. And so I just wanted to learn a little bit more from you about who he was to the city of Detroit.
Well, in our hip hop circle, it was like, Dilla was like, it was like a template, like to say, man, this guy, he's making money off his music.
Right.
He's a provider.
Mm-hmm.
He can pay his own car note. He's pulling up at the hip hop shop one month with a BMW, and 3 months after that it's a Lexus truck.
Right.
And he was our success story for us to tell our mom and dad, our friend is on. He's making more money than you this year, Dad. This type of thing. And it was beautiful to see that, and to see him able to put his own solo album out, and and to see he kind of seen his flowers before he passed away.
Right.
Not like I wanted him to see, like Proof needed to see his flowers.
Yeah, Proof did.
Yeah, because it's like we were tolerated for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even with Dilla, it was kind of hard to see him go to New York and they taking credit for his production. Yeah. But to see him come out of that and do his own solo album, and he showed that he found his own independent label to work with. Mm-hmm. We stayed on Log Cabin, and he stayed on the 6 Mile side. I stayed on the Puritan side.
Okay.
On the same block. So I used to always see him. His girlfriend used to always come down to my grandfather's house and kick it with us, because she was cool with my cousin Shannon. So she used to always talk about Busta Rhymes calling and all this spectacular stuff, and
right.
It was beautiful to see JD go through that. And he used to call me, and I used to do this magazine called Funky Fresh in the Flesh. Mm-hmm. And he used to call me, man, F everybody, Butter, you got to put me on the front cover. Forget all them other people, you got to put me on the front. And I didn't see it. Eventually I saw it. I used to just put Slum Village on the cover to kind of balance it out.
Right.
But just to see that, it was a beautiful thing. I think he left kind of, I think knowing him, he was sick, and being from Detroit, I think he didn't want us to see him like that.
Yeah. Because
we never seen him vulnerable. I think and a lot of my friends kind of going through that. Just we faking it to make it, kind of. It's like, instead of saying, yo, I'm sick, y'all, or I'm on these drugs, y'all, come through. I want to make sure I leave some of my legacy in your hand. Or
yeah,
just even before Proof died, I heard he was around here just miserable because him and Eminem wasn't talking, and a lot of things I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think we kind of tolerate each other too much, instead of just saying, I have to tell my friends, hey man, I'm your fan. I'm not jocking, don't take this wrong, but
right.
You could take over the globe, bro. Let's think that way,
Yeah.
Seeing Dilla, on stage like that in a wheelchair and in a hospital, making beats on stage, performing, it's like, we don't have no time to play around. You just,
And the fact that he basically taught himself kind of how to make beats and stuff from the old school cassette player, record and then play.
Yeah.
And he just came out. I was like, this dude is just a genius.
He was a genius. Alien. For real. Yeah. He didn't even look at the drum machine instructions. It was just not, he wasn't trying to be 1, 2, 3. He wasn't a 1, 2, 3 type of guy. And that's what I learned about him. Not to be so accessible. He was Batman all the time,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I gotta mention what you said in reference to, in our culture, just in general, we don't let each other know that we're hurting. I just lost a good friend of mine, and he had sugar diabetes, but he never let nobody know. So when we heard that he looked like he was in great shape and all of that, and then just had a stroke, we were just like, well, he's in good shape. How, what happened? And then we found out he had sugar diabetes and never wanted anybody to know. And then you're coming over and we're doing New Year's or whatever together, and you're the first one having a glass of wine. So if I would have known he had sugar diabetes, and we sitting here, let's not do the wine, bro. What can we have that is comparable for what you need to have?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, there's no celebration in anything unless we're taking care of ourselves.
Right.
So, to be blown back by that, just like what you're saying, like our inability to be vulnerable. Like, I understand why, because we're already being attacked. God forbid if I give you one more clue, then you're going to really take me down. So I get the theory, but at the same time, we have to find a way to trust the people that are around us and trust ourselves through whatever the journey is. Because my friend, we didn't know he had sugar or whatever. They found him, he had a stroke at home by himself, and his body didn't get found until 5 days after the fact. That's just devastating to me.
The black man's pride is something else. I don't know if we try not to look bad in front of our women or whatever it is. We trying to get that superhero persona, but our pride is something else.
Yeah.
I've learned that. One of my friends had a hit out on him in December. The way we were acting, he get killed. I seen him, and he get killed hours after I seen him. Like, he didn't tell me he had a hit out on him. None of this stuff. I just like, man, I don't want to ride with you.
Right.
Speak on things like, it's something. It really is. Our pride is even with each other.
Yeah, we got to break way out of that. Way terrible. So in reference to Jay Dilla, also, I was really happy that they decided to do a deluxe edition of his release, his 2001 release, because I just think that meant a lot to the city, and it meant a lot to his legacy and the work that he did do in the business. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about this Dilla Day. Now, is that something that happens every year in February?
Yes, I've been putting them together. One second, please.
He had to step away for a minute, y'all. This Jay Dilla is hot, it's personal, and it's real. This is where we are right now in terms of our legacy and some of our greats that we've lost this year. DMX we lost, so many great artists. And that's why me and DJ Butter really want to talk about it in length. So you back now?
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Life happens. We got to, react in it. Yes. So I just wanted to talk about Dilla Day a little bit and why that's such a great thing that you guys were able to put together. I think it's through his mom's nonprofit, who runs his nonprofit. Yes. But tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, basically, I've been doing Dilla Day almost 10 years. Miss Shancy, when we got with Miss Shancy, it was pretty
Mom
much
Dukes.
Yeah, she pretty much was fighting her lupus. Her husband was in hospice and things, and just seeing her go through that.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, I want somebody to do this for my mom. Just seeing her in the community, moving around. She still was hanging out with us, but her facial features, everything was changing on her. It was like, okay, let's give her life. We we did this album called The Rebirth of Detroit for, you know, A&R that for it, and it led on us to do Dilla Days, and there's so much elitist stuff going here to where we don't really we separate each other with it's a D12 Island, a Street Lord Island, or a J Dilla Island, you know, Royce the 5'9" Island. You know, so Dilla's music was able to bring us together, you know, more. You know, that, you know, and I try to invite all the gangsters, the hip hoppers all in one building, you know, just to do our own little Motown 25 in our own little, you know, way, because his music is so, you know, world renowned. So if we can just, you know, get the energy that LA and everybody else get from us, you know, let's empower each other. And I take my own money and do it, and, you know, and get sponsors and you know, charity donations and things like that just so my friends can see something every year. Because I went through a legal issue with Shady Records, and it was so much. It was like DJ Butter is pretty much, you know, ostracized. You know, he's pretty much as worthless. This is what my subpoena and things look like from their side. So I took that all that energy and said, let me put my own thousands up and put money behind, you know, people that respect, you know, what I bring to the table. And I'm not letting no man dictate how I eat, you know. On no level, you know. And I've learned a lot of. It's crazy, and it's like LA and New York is getting the love off Dilla name, and businesses and more business ventures that we don't get, you know. So that's what I've been doing with my own money. I lose a lot, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Ain't no losses, DJ.
Not at all.
Don't even
not at all.
About it that way, dude. And
but I'm fighting through the resistance of, you know, our resistance here is something different. You know? We empower some of the wrong people sometimes, you know.
And
that's
the truth.
Yeah,
that's the truth. But I wanted to ask you too, I know we talk about J Dilla, but you had mentioned Proof and D12 and all of those different artists and stuff. Do you know Trick from Detroit?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, how can you not, right? Because, you know, he's on that same thing that you're talking about, you know, getting respect for Detroit artists. Like, you guys bring celebration to everybody else, and you come to our city and you eat in our city, and our people rock with you. But our artists don't receive that same thing. Because I had him on the show too, and I mean, he was just on one about.
That's the big homie, right?
Yeah, he the big homie, man. And so that's why I said, man, if I can get DJ Butter too, I mean, I'm all up in DJ.
That's what's up.
So, you know, Trick, he's a real dude, and I was just really happy to get him, man, and you. So I had to, you know, go wink. Don't tell me that you can't move in this industry genuinely and get some big people to do things with you genuinely, because it's about being genuine. It's about being and giving again to something bigger than yourself. And for some reason, those people recognize those people. Because I mean, Trick could have been like, yo, dude, you ain't need what podcast? Who? You know, he could have played me like that, but he's just a genuine dude.
Yeah, that's the big homie.
You know, and so I had to ask if you knew him. Because he ain't nowhere he goes and don't beat that drum for Detroit. I'm serious. LA, with Hawaii, internationally, or whatever. Trick is the real big dog, OG, real to the core. So I just wanted to make sure you know him as well. And his reference to J Dilla, man, I mean, he was an icon to us, and I really am glad that you keep working with his mom and just the city of Detroit, that you guys continue to push forward his legacy, because people need to see that, because despite of him being sick, despite of his circumstances, he still made sure that he did his job here on earth, which was the leading example for us to learn how to fight. Right. So, we love you, Jay Dilla, and you've been missed, but let me tell you, a lot of us are gaining momentum and understanding on how we need to do and be better while we're here. And you're one of them, DJ Butters.
Thank you.
You and Mom Dukes is keeping it running.
Yes.
So shout out to her too. And I think we burned that up. So let's take that off the grill. Let's take it off the grill and get back to these questions. So I wanted to ask you too, who you got? Who's your top 5 in hip hop right now?
Oh, wow.
And tell me why.
Well, Nas, of course, because he forever keep it new.
Yeah,
he just keep it new. 2, wow, I'ma always be a Tupac fan. I cannot, Pac is like a page in my book.
Yeah.
My mother was a Pac fan, so you can ride down the streets and see people playing Tupac in Detroit,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tupac. 3, as far as hip hop, always like me being from Detroit. I'm always rooting for Royce da 5'9". I grew up with Royce, just to see him trying to conquer just to see the obstacles he going through, just being close to Eminem.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see him, outshine that, and whatever good come with that, get it, and whatever don't, outshine it,
Yeah.
Man, I'm always an Ice Cube fan. I'm still kind of old school with it. I'm just seeing him make his transitions, and rappers with their wives always do something to me. Like, see him still with his wife after so many years and doing music, and like he's talking about how hard this big 3 is. Just to see him even taking losses and that, I know that's way harder than the music, and his wife still there smiling. He's able to bounce, in all different directions with her around, and I took that page and even keep my wife by me.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You need the queen, baby. You need the queen. You need it. So y'all got to hang with us too in our imperfections.
Right.
So yeah. So you got Nas, you got Tupac, you got
Royce,
you got Ice Cube, and who you got your last one? Anybody current, or we staying old school with it?
Nipsey Hussle. I'm a Nipsey fan. It's deeper than the beat and the rhyme for me. I just that's just it, what they embody. How a lot of those guys like Nipsey, it's like he was walking college. He was like if you really listen to him, you don't have to think illegal all the time. And he was putting that in a black man's head, and those little tools I got from him. It was just, I'm that type of guy, just to see, somebody like that can get dropped off in any ghetto and survive.
Yeah. And that's what that is about, man. I like your top 5, man. Right. And lastly, how can we follow your movement? Let me know your Instagram, your website, wherever we can keep up with DJ Butter, because now, dude, you're synonymous with the yard, me and you, and just being able to get down like this. So I want to make sure that our audience and also myself, well, you know, I'm gonna keep up with you, but let the audience know how we can get down and find you.
You can check me out on Instagram at I am DJ Butter. If you serious about music, hit me up at butter174 at gmail. I got the Crazy Noise Production Instagram page, the website djbutter.com. It's gonna be updated soon. We got a lot of new music coming on that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, be on the lookout for my album with King David and Pace One. Yeah, King David from Schoolcraft, and Pace One was one of Eminem's first senseis. You know, so I'm working with those guys as well. So
yeah, I can't wait. Wow. So let's go back to the quote, DJ Butter, because it really, really laid the groundwork for our conversation today. And the quote goes, "We hope for better things. It's shall arise from the ashes." And this quote actually came from Father Gabriel. And what he was referring to is that extreme fire that happened in Detroit in 1908 between, you know, before you and I was born. But I just felt like that is so synonymous with Detroit. You know, these fires and these major things that happen to occur, like the water and like the elements of that we need to live our lives has occurred in Detroit. And somehow you guys just keep championing on and keep finding ways to recreate yourself. And so when I seen that quote, I was like, man, this is DJ Butter to me. This is a man that regardless of what happens in his life, he's going to find a way to rebuild it. He's going to find a way to retell it. And he's going to find a way to find motivation within it. And so, man, I just think it just went so nicely with everything we talked about, dude. And you are fire.
Thank you.
Are fire. And we continue to burn, man. I can't see it. You know, I can't see it no other way, because you ain't got no let go, no give up, no lack of in your spirit, man. And that's what really, really compelled me to have you on the show. I was just like, I need a fire. I need somebody that, regardless of what they're going through, can give us a message right now in all that we're going through that will allow us to see it's not just you, it's we that are in this, and it's we that have to find within each other and through each other how we can be better in it. And I think you are that dude, and I commend you for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I just want to say, for my audience, thanks so much for tuning in today. We had a great conversation with an amazing person that you guys can continue to watch grow and ignite and continue to prosper and be creative in everything that he does. And I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm jocking for likes, comments, and all those things so that we can be large on their system, not in our system, but theirs, because in our system, we're already huge because we have amazing people that come through here and they give all of their experiences, they pour it into the yard. And that's why we call this the backyard, because it's synonymous with our culture and the things that we learned about each other. Everything we had, every celebration was in the backyard. And that's what we do here. We celebrate and we share here. And I just want to say thank you so much to my man, my new friend, DJ Butter. Having a nice with us, boy. Detroit's in the house. Y'all know what it is. And when you see DJ Butter, man, you see Detroit. Believe me, he don't stop. He sleeps and really focuses on bringing his city up. So to all of you out there, thanks again for tuning in, and let's talk, express, relate, and connect next Sunday at 2. You know what we do over here. Stay up, fam, and stay safe and keep your mental health where it needs to be. You got anything to tell them, DJ Butter, before we go?
Pace One coming soon. Come home soon, T Stucky.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out, man. So you guys have an amazing, amazing Sunday, and we'll see you next Sunday at 2. We love you guys, and we're out. Peace.